Chosen one, take a moment and settle into the gravity of these words. You may not realize it yet, but your next move, the decision that you're on the brink of making, has the power to shape your future in ways you cannot fully comprehend right now. You've probably sensed it in your bones, that restlessness or flicker of electricity telling you a pivotal point is at hand, and how you respond could change the trajectory of your life. Perhaps you feel a subtle anticipation stirring in your spirit, or maybe you're facing a crossroads that demands courage beyond anything you've summoned before. Whatever your situation, understand that what you do next is far more than just another choice in a sea of countless decisions. It is a defining moment that will echo through every chapter of your unfolding destiny. If you feel even a hint of resonance in your heart, I ask you to pause for a brief but profound gesture. Go to the comments and type 777. With that single act, you declare that you're ready to hear this message and to honor the significance of your next move. It might seem like a small step, but it's a symbolic statement, one that tells your deepest self and the entire universe that you will not let this moment slip by. Only those who are truly prepared to step forward into the unknown will take that action, because in doing so, they acknowledge the weight of what's about to be said. Now, take a breath, allow yourself to be fully present, and let's delve into why your next move is so critical. Life is built on a series of junctures, each seemingly ordinary until we look back and realize how drastically they influenced the road we've traveled. Maybe you've felt trapped in cycles that repeat, or you've been longing for a sign, an unmistakable prompting that tells you it's time to break away from the predictable script you've been handed. So this is that sign. The tension you feel, the sense that something monumental is tugging at the edges of your reality, is the whisper of destiny. It's the gentle nudge saying, look around, pay attention. This is where you decide whether to remain in the realm of your old limitations or to transcend them. Think about the decisions that brought you to this point. Some of them were small, everyday choices. Others were leaps of faith that changed everything. In hindsight, the largest leaps often began with the softest impulses, an intuition you followed even though it made no logical sense, or a burst of bravery that appeared in your darkest hour. Here you are again, standing on the threshold of possibility. The question is, will you trust the pulse in your gut telling you that the next move matters beyond measure? Or will you allow fear, doubt, or complacency to talk you out of seizing the opportunity that's standing at your door? For many of us, the next move is not a single giant step, but rather a culmination of small, courageous acts. It could be making that phone call you've avoided, submitting that application you believe might be out of your league, or having the honest conversation that might rock the foundation of your relationships. It might even be the simple choice to believe in yourself for once, to speak up when your inner critic says you should stay silent. You may not see how all these small acts connect, but trust that they form the tapestry that is weaving your future into reality. Every thread, every action has far-reaching consequences. The universe responds to your intent and your willingness to take even the tiniest steps toward growth and authenticity. You might be wondering, what if I choose wrong? What if my next move leads me down a path of regret? It's natural to harbor these fears, especially if you've made painful mistakes in the past. But consider that mistakes aren't dead ends. They're refining fires that temper your character and expand your wisdom. The real danger lies in standing still out of fear of the unknown. When you do nothing, you consent to letting life happen to you, relinquishing your power to shape what comes next. Fear, ironically, can be a powerful signpost that you're edging close to something meaningful. If there were nothing valuable on the line, you wouldn't feel afraid at all. So let your fear serve as a marker that the stakes are real, that the door opening before you has genuine potential to transform your life if you dare to cross its threshold. You might recall times in your past when you made a move that felt impossibly bold, when everyone around you cautioned you to reconsider, to play it safe. Yet you pushed ahead, and in doing so discovered strengths you never knew you had. Or maybe you gleaned lessons that, while painful, became the bedrock of your resilience today. These pivotal moments remind you that your next move, though intimidating, holds the promise of profound growth. Indeed, we often grow most not when we play it safe, but when we risk stepping outside the boundaries of our comfort zone. That boundary is precisely where life expands, where the horizon stretches out to reveal new territory you never knew existed. If you're unsure whether the move you're contemplating is the right one, realize that rightness often isn't clear until we're on the other side of action. Our culture places immense pressure on us to have everything figured out beforehand, but that's rarely how genuine progress unfolds. Real progress is messy. It involves learning as we go, recalibrating in real time. The essential part is listening to the quiet call of your inner compass, that intangible sense of alignment that whispers, "Yes, this resonates with who I am becoming," even if you can't rationally prove it yet. That resonance is the signature of authenticity, a sign that you're leaning toward what your soul truly desires. By following it, you shift from a life directed by external expectations to one guided by your internal truth. And that chosen one is how futures are shaped. For some, your next move might involve walking away from a situation or relationship that no longer allows you to grow, even if it once felt comforting. For others, it might involve stepping into a bigger role at work or launching a creative project that's been burning in your imagination. You might be on the verge of forging a new friendship or partnership that challenges you to expand your worldview. Or you could be standing at the precipice of a long-awaited dream, one that demands you release your grip on the familiar in exchange for a leap into the unknown. Whatever it is, the substance of this decision lies not just in the external act, but in the shift it represents internally. The shift from living in reaction to your past to living in alignment with your future self. Consider that the future you desire is already waiting for you in a state of potential. Every step you take, every move you make, either brings you closer to that reality or keeps you anchored in a lesser version of what you could be. This is not about blame or shame for missed opportunities. It's about awakening to the immense power of your agency. You are not a pawn in some cosmic game, helplessly buffeted by circumstance. You are a co-creator with the universe, endowed with the capacity to envision, to decide, and to act in ways that bring your dreams into concrete manifestation. By recognizing this, you reclaim a sovereignty that's been yours all along but perhaps lost under layers of doubt and routine. Yet claiming that sovereignty isn't always straightforward. It requires vigilance, humility, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. It often means letting go of old stories, stories of victimhood, of limitations you inherited from others, or even stories of who you thought you had to be. These narratives can be insidious, convincing you to settle for less because that's what you've always done. But now you stand at a juncture where your next move can either perpetuate the old story or write a bold new chapter. Dare to see yourself through new eyes, to imagine that your capacities run deeper and your potential is vaster than you ever allowed yourself to believe. In that daring, the seeds of transformation are planted. It's worth noting that when you're on the verge of a crucial move, distractions often intensify, as if life itself is testing your commitment. Suddenly, old habits might resurface, or people might come out of nowhere to pull you back into your comfort zone. You might find yourself swamped with tasks that conveniently sidetrack you from making that phone call, sending that application, or starting that project. Recognize these distractions for what they are: a friction that arises whenever you attempt to ascend to a higher plane of existence. The friction is not there to break you. It's there to ensure you truly want what you say you want. Let your determination burn brighter than the illusions trying to pull you away. Remember that the universe often checks if you're truly serious about your growth. Passing this test simply means not giving up when the path becomes inconvenient. If you feel stuck, uncertain how to approach your next move, try breaking it down into smaller, manageable actions. Rather than focusing on the entire mountain, concentrate on the first few steps of the climb. If your move is to start a new business, begin by researching the industry or writing a simple business plan. If your move is to transform your health, commit to a single healthy meal or a brief workout each day rather than overwhelming yourself with a massive, sudden overhaul. Each small success fortifies your belief in your ability to shift your reality. Over time, these incremental victories compound, creating a momentum that propels you forward with greater ease than if you tried to leap across a chasm in one bound. At this point, I want to emphasize the vital role of your mindset. If you approach your next move with an attitude of defeat or cynicism, you drain the very energy you need to succeed. On the other hand, if you frame it as an adventure, a proving ground for the latent greatness inside you, you step into the realm of possibility. Maintaining a constructive internal dialogue is crucial. Where your mind goes, your energy follows. Each time you catch yourself sliding into negativity or doubt, gently reorient your thoughts. Remind yourself that every obstacle is surmountable with creativity, perseverance, and faith. What you choose to believe about your capacity to change directly shapes the results you'll achieve. Some might say, "But what if I try, and it still doesn't work out?" Understand that outward success or failure is never the full story. Every attempt you make in the direction of your higher calling, whether it leads to immediate victory or not, acts as a lesson that refines your approach, clarifies your vision, and builds your resilience. Even outcomes you label as failures can be reinterpreted as practice sessions for the moment you finally hit your stride. In this light, the only true failure is refusal to act, because in inaction you relinquish the possibility of discovery and growth. Don't let fear of disappointment chain you to a life unlived. The dream, the calling, the potential you sense inside isn't there to taunt you. It's there to guide you, urging you to break past the illusions of impossibility. As you prepare to make your move, remember to keep your eyes and heart open for synchronicities, those uncanny coincidences that feel like winks from the universe. They might come in the form of a timely conversation, a random piece of advice you overhear, or an article that addresses exactly the question you've been pondering. These synchronicities are signals that you are on the right path, that there's a larger intelligence co-laboring with you. Embrace them, take them as clues, as breadcrumbs that light the way toward the next steps. Even if they seem small or insignificant, trust that a tapestry of meaning often emerges when you follow them consistently. You may also want to find a mentor, someone who has navigated challenges similar to yours and can offer perspective, if not outright guidance. This doesn't mean you abdicate responsibility for your life. A mentor simply helps you see angles you might miss when you're caught in the whirl of your own doubts and assumptions. Alternatively, you could form or join a supportive community, a group of like-minded individuals who champion each other's dreams. Humans are social creatures, and in the synergy of collective support, you'll find that your next move becomes less daunting. You feed off each other's courage, learning from each other's victories and stumbles. No one's meant to climb their mountain alone. Yet the most important companion on your journey is your own inner voice. There will be times when the external world is chaotic, when opinions clash, or when resources seem scarce. In those moments, only your inner voice can guide you accurately. Cultivating a relationship with that voice, through reflection, meditation, journaling, or simple daily check-ins, ensures you can access clarity even in the densest fog of confusion. Let your intuition inform your rational mind, not the other way around. It's often that quiet, instinctive nudge that saves you from a pitfall or points you toward a treasure you might otherwise overlook. If you still feel you lack the confidence to move forward, remember that confidence isn't a prerequisite for action. Often it's the result of action. Confidence builds each time you prove to yourself that you can confront the unknown and emerge stronger or wiser. Wait around for unwavering self-assurance, and you might wait forever. So act even while you're afraid, uncertain, or trembling. That's how you expand the boundaries of what you consider possible, how you confirm to your deeper self that you are, in fact, far more capable than you realized. Because your next move holds the power to determine your future, it's vital not to squander the opportunity. Don't just watch or listen passively, engage. Deliberate on what you truly want, then muster the courage to take that first step, however small or monumental it may be. If the scope of what you want seems too large, break it into steps until it feels approachable. If you find yourself paralyzed by perfectionism, remind yourself that no masterpiece came into being without rough drafts and revisions. Forward motion, even if imperfect, beats inertia every time. When doubts escalate and you feel yourself wobbling under the weight of responsibility, return to the times you overcame adversity in the past. Remember how you survived heartbreak, financial strain, rejection, or failures you once believed insurmountable. Those experiences weren't just pain. They were training, forging resilience, empathy, and grit. If you made it through those challenges, you can handle what lies ahead. The next move might test you in fresh ways, but you're not the same person you were before. You carry new resources inside you: wisdom, perspective, and an unbreakable spirit. It's also worth considering that your next move isn't purely about personal gain. Often, our boldest steps end up benefiting not just ourselves but everyone whose life we touch. By choosing growth, you become a ripple of possibility in a world starved for hope and authenticity. You show others what can happen when someone aligns with their inner calling and refuses to settle for mediocrity. In this sense, your personal evolution contributes to the collective evolution. Each time one person transcends their limitations, it paves the way for others to see that they, too, are capable of more than they've dared to believe. There's no denying that stepping into your next move can provoke backlash from those around you who are more comfortable with who you've been than who you're becoming. They might question your decisions, belittle your aspirations, or try to hold you to old patterns. Recognize that this resistance often arises from their own fears and insecurities. Don't let it deter you. If anything, let it serve as a sign that you're venturing into territory that's new enough to rattle the status quo, which is precisely where breakthroughs typically happen. Move forward with grace, but don't ask for permission from those who can't see the vision that's been entrusted to you. As you stand at this juncture, it's essential to have compassion for yourself. If the next move feels monumental, it's because it very well may be. Remind yourself that it's okay to be nervous, to have questions, to even stumble. The path of transformation is rarely linear. Instead, it's dotted with setbacks that, if approached with humility and reflection, become catalysts for even greater leaps. Each misstep is an invitation to refine your technique, deepen your resolve, and clarify your intentions. Over time, this cycle of attempt, adjust, improve leads you to mastery, whether in a skill, a relationship, or an aspect of personal growth. If you're concerned about practicalities, finances, time, energy, take a measured approach, but don't let the fear of resource constraints paralyze you. History is filled with tales of individuals who had no obvious advantage but took leaps of faith to pioneer new frontiers, whether in business, science, art, or social change. While it's wise to plan, to do your homework, and to manage risks, never let the scarcity mindset snuff out the flame of your aspirations. If you truly believe in your calling, you'll find creative ways to gather the resources you need. The wellsprings of human ingenuity and divine grace often open up once you commit wholeheartedly to your path. One vital piece of wisdom is learning to discern the difference between your ego's demands and your soul's yearnings. The ego might push you to chase validation, to prove your worth to others, or to accumulate superficial trophies of success. Your soul, on the other hand, longs for growth, authenticity, and alignment. It wants you to pour your energy into endeavors that nourish your being and serve something greater than your own immediate gratification. Before you make that next move, pause and ask yourself which part of you is truly directing the choice. If you find it's mostly about impressing others or quieting your insecurities, consider recalibrating. But if it resonates with your deeper sense of purpose, proceed with boldness, secure in the knowledge that you're walking a path that resonates with your highest potential. Sometimes, your next move might appear entirely counterintuitive to the outside world. Perhaps it involves giving up a comfortable job to pursue a passion project, or leaving a stable relationship that suffocates your growth. Those who witness your decision might call it reckless or foolish. Yet, if deep inside you sense the unmistakable pull of destiny, then what seems foolish to them might be your gateway to freedom. This doesn't mean you disregard all practical concerns. It means you weigh them against the inner compulsion that says, I cannot remain where I am any longer without betraying my own soul. In that conflict, the voice of your inner truth should hold the final vote. As we move toward the culmination of this message, remember the invitation to comment 777 if you haven't done so yet. That action remains a powerful testament to your readiness. It's also a declaration that you won't just absorb these words passively, but that you intend to act on them, to let them move you beyond the comfortable realm of ideas and into the bold realm of execution. For truly, it's not enough to be inspired. The world is filled with inspired people who never follow through. What changes your future is the leap from inspiration to action, from possibility to tangible choice. That leap, chosen one, is what your next move is all about. Finally, let's acknowledge the personal nature of your journey. No one else can decide for you what your next move should be. You alone hold the puzzle pieces of your dreams, experiences, and yearnings. You alone know the fears that keep you awake at night and the visions that light a fire in your heart. While guidance is invaluable, be it from mentors, spiritual insights, or your closest confidants, the ultimate responsibility lies with you. This is both daunting and liberating. Daunting because you can't shift the burden of choice onto anyone else. Liberating because once you see that you alone can shape your destiny, you realize just how much agency you truly have. The pen is in your hand. You can write a new chapter or continue rereading the old ones. Take a moment now to reflect on everything stirring inside you. Perhaps your chest feels lighter or your mind buzzes with clarity or a soft determination. That's the sign you're in the presence of a crucial juncture, the sign that your next move indeed has the power to alter your course. Embrace that feeling. Let it be your compass in the days to come. When doubts creep in, remember this precise moment of lucidity, of possibility, of being on the cusp of a decision that can reverberate through your entire life. Let it be your anchor in rough waters, your reminder that you do have a say in how your story unfolds. Whatever your next move is, large or small, external or internal, do not delay indefinitely. Life is ephemeral, and windows of opportunity can close as swiftly as they open. If you feel that nudge, that spark, that sense of this is it, then gather your courage, gather your resolve, and move. The path might not unfold exactly as you imagine, but it will unfold in alignment with your sincerity of heart. You will learn, you will grow, and you will walk away from each step changed. And that chosen one is how you continue to write your future in bold, vibrant strokes rather than faint, hesitant lines. One day, you'll look back on this period and see how pivotal it truly was. You'll marvel at the chain reaction set off by a single decision, a single phone call, a single leap of faith. You'll realize that the life you inhabit, the experiences you've had, the people you've met, the moments that shaped you, can trace their origin to this juncture, where you recognize the magnitude of what was at stake and chose to step forward instead of standing still. In that retrospective lens, you'll thank yourself for not letting fear or doubt keep you chained to smaller versions of yourself. You'll see that every great chapter in your story started with you deciding that yes, you were worthy of pursuing the vision that tugged at your heart. And so, chosen one, it all comes down to this: your next move will determine your future. Are you ready to make it count? If yes, then carry this conviction with you. Let your next conversation, your next action, your next day's plan reflect the awareness that you are shaping something precious and profound. Let every breath remind you of the infinite potential swirling around you, waiting to crystallize through the vehicle of your choice. Let the tension of possibility fill you not with paralysis, but with focused determination. The stage is set, the call has sounded, and the script for the next act of your life is waiting for you to pick up the pen. If you haven't already, type 777 in the comments now. This is your symbolic gesture, your personal vow to heed the call you've felt since you started reading these words. In that action, you affirm that you're not a spectator to your life but a creator, an active participant in weaving your destiny. After you do so, go forth with the knowledge that your next move, whatever it may be, carries an almost magical potency, one that can break you free from stagnation, one that can unlock new horizons of your potential, one that can define the legacy you'll leave behind. May you move forward with clarity, courage, and a sense of wonder. May you find in yourself a well of resolve deeper than you ever guessed. And may this very moment become the catalyst for a future so radiant and meaningful that your old life seems like a faint echo by comparison. Your next move awaits, chosen one. Make it with intention, make it with heart, and watch as the fabric of your reality reconfigures itself to reflect the greatness you have finally dared to claim.